Alright, bet. Adine, introduce us back after that quick intermission.
Well, we are back to this installment of The Bice in the Back. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Joining us again after a long pause.
Much awaited return, for sure.
Yeah, it's good to be back. And
great to be back. Very great to be back. Hyped to be back.
We feel good about it.
Yeah, so far so good. We're a little rusty, but we'll get back to the swing of things. Yeah, once we get a nice new camera, once we get this HDMI setup, we'll figure it out. You guys will see.
Yeah.
We just talked about the NFL recap, so if you want to see that, go back.
Check it out.
Check that out. Are these two separate pods, or are these going to be one?
No, why would it be two separate? I thought it was just going to be one.
It can be whatever.
One focusing on the NFL. It can be whatever we want. That's facts. It can be whatever we want.
You only talked about the NFL for not that long though.
I feel like we were there for a minute. We were there for at least an hour.
Can you hear me?
I can hear me a little muffled.
Muffled?
Yeah. Trying to.
How about now?
That's better.
Alright.
Bet. But yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see in the cutting room what ends up on the cutting room floor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah.
What's been on your mind recently?
Yeah, where should we go? Where do we even start with things like this? Where do we even go?
Remember what we were talking about with the thing, self-confidence. There's two kinds of confidence.
Confidence. So it's funny. Shout out our boy Evan McGuire. Lizzie McGuire.
Mm-hmm.
He was talking about confidence the other day, and I look at confidence like this: like, there's two different types of confidence. There's like a fake confidence, which it's not like fake, but it's a fake confidence, and then like a true confidence. And like the way I see it, like a fake confidence, because like here's the thing: like nobody can really tell whether you're truly.
It's kind of like the same thing.
So here's what I think: like a fake confidence could just be like, there's a couple of things like you really only need to like demonstrate like you have a confidence, and I feel like that's just kind of like knowledge and intention. You know what I mean? Like, here's the thing: if you lack confidence, it's probably because you haven't been there before. It's probably because you don't know enough about whatever situation you're in. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Like when if you're Joe Rogan, you're almost 2,000 podcasts in. Like, you're pretty confident on that pod. You've been there for a minute. Like, but on his first 100, he's probably like, damn, this is like new and weird. It's like, oh, like if you first go to the gym, you're new to the gym. Like, you know, your confidence is low. You're new. You're new to it. You're novice. But when you have that, not like once you're there and you gain that knowledge, and
when you know what you're doing, you can be confident.
When you know what you're doing, you have confidence. So essentially,
if you fake that you know what you're doing,
fake like you've been there before. Fake like you've been there before.
So are we talking?
Just fake like you've been there before and move with intention. Like, you know what I mean? Like if you're in the gym and you don't know what you're doing, you're fumbling around, kind of like just like act like, oh, I'm gonna go do this and I'm gonna do that. Like, okay, that guy knows what he's doing. You know what I mean? Like fake like, oh, I'm gonna go do this and do that. Like if you're at the bar, right, and you want to talk to a girl, well, move with intention. Say, hey, I want to go talk to that girl. I'm gonna go talk to her, and then you move with intention. Looks like you know what you're doing. If you're like shy, you know, kind of peeking, and like you're like, oh, this guy's a little not know what he's doing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can fake things like that by just like acting like you've been there before and moving with intention. That's how I think of. That's because here's the thing: you fake it till you make it, right?
Fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it. Like once you start acting like you know, like eventually you're gonna know what you're doing. You know, it's like a big thing like ZK talks about. Like if you just like fake a smile every day, like eventually like you're gonna have a genuine smile. You're gonna be happy. You know what I mean? It's like that, I look at it like that. Is like you just try your best at it, because it's like, look at falling asleep, for example. How do you fall asleep? You fall asleep by pretending to be asleep.
So you pretend to sleep for a little.
You pretend to sleep and then you fall asleep. You know, you see what I'm saying? So it's like you kind of just gotta fake it a little bit until you make it. So like that's if you need to work on confidence. Like those are the two things I would say to you. But then true confidence. Now here's the tricky part. True confidence comes into a thing of like self-love, self-awareness, self-respect, self-esteem, things like that. That is much harder to learn. It's much harder to gain over, because you only get that by knowing yourself and learning about yourself and your body, your mental, everything. Like that takes years. That takes forever. That's gonna take your whole life, because you're always a different person. And, like you're always growing.
Evolving.
Scientifically, Every single cell in your body, bone to organ to skin to everything, like eyes, every single cell regenerates completely after 7 years. Not like in one go, obviously, but just like over time, like 7 years, like you eventually will regenerate new cells. So basically, you're a completely physically different person as well as mentally. You know what I mean?
Oh,
so,
wow.
So you completely have to
Randy fucking dropping the statistics.
This is deep. This is deep shit, right? So it's like you really have to constantly. You got to constantly be learning yourself, constantly be adjusting and adapting. And like some people never do that. Some people never like sit down and like can rationalize and self-aware with their thoughts, and like that's just like a problem. You know what I mean?
Well, honestly, first of all, I don't think.
So what do you think of those two takes, by the way?
I respectfully disagree.
Okay.
Ooh.
I think that
respectfully,
to say that there's two types of confidence, I don't. I think confidence in
can be
in
not
certain
factually.
ways, but that's what he said, right? So that's his take on it, at least, and that's what we're talking about now.
Yeah.
So, I lost my train of thought.
Just my opinion that I think there's two.
Yeah, I mean, I agree that confidence is one thing.
Facts.
Okay, so
Facts.
this is what I was gonna say. I see confidence as an emotion almost. You know, we experience confidence like we experience happiness or sadness, where you can feel a change when you gain confidence. For example, you feel that change. When you lose confidence, you feel that change.
Facts.
So, in that sense, it's more of a sliding scale. It's more of a spectrum, like all
it's an emotion.
emotions.
Fact.
And there's a lot of factors that go into it. And so what you described like an outward confidence of like in actions versus the inward confidence of how you feel about yourself.
That's the true confidence that I was getting into.
Confidence.
The true confidence is that self-esteem, that self-respect, that self-love. But that's what I was getting into. Like, it takes forever to learn that. Not saying that like don't try because it takes forever. I'm saying like it just takes so much time of knowing yourself. Being alone with yourself is a big one.
Now, what I will say, I don't think confidence and self-awareness necessarily go together. There are plenty of super detached from reality people who are so confident you couldn't tell them anything.
That is a good point. That is a great.
True.
That is a great.
I think
point.
confidence is
But they're not
blinds your
grounded.
self-awareness to a certain extent. Sometimes
It
for
can.
some people.
Definitely. Yeah. I didn't even think of it like separated because I think self-awareness is like the number one key anybody can have, and like I feel like if you lack that, it's such a loss. Like you need to like have such good self-awareness. I feel like everything roots from self-awareness. Or
I think self-awareness
being able
is
to
almost where we get our insecurities from.
Yes, but having that self-awareness is noticing you have insecurities, noticing you're a flawed person, because every human, every thing on this earth is flawed, and realizing like I'm okay with those and I'm working on those. You know what I mean?
So it's a double-edged sword.
It's
So
just being
that's
aware.
where confidence
Being
and
aware,
self-awareness
exactly.
comes hand in hand.
But no, you're right, because there's a funny. You know who Steve-O is?
Yes.
I was watching a funny video with Steve-O. I think it was a clip of him on Joe Rogan or something like that. Or I might have watched the pod. And essentially, he was talking about how like your brain is a radio receiving wavelengths and processing them, and like that's he was getting deep about self-awareness and things like that. And like one of his buddies, who was a comedian, was just like, yeah, you're right. And like some people just think they're the fucking Beatles, and they're not. And it's kind of facts, you know what I mean? Like you said, like some people are detached, right? They have the confidence like they're the Beatles when they're fucking not. You know what I mean? And like it's true though. Like that's where you lack that self-awareness, is when like, because here's the thing, you'll never know enough. Like you'll always be smaller.
There's always something more to learn.
Always something more to learn. Always something bigger, better, everything, right? So that's when you have to be self-aware that like we're fucking nothing. We dug 8 miles deep, dude. Like, what? That's nothing. Like, I don't even know how deep the goddamn fucking Michigan Lake is. I don't know. Quite Lake Quantapowhat. I don't even know how deep that thing is. Like,
that's like 10 feet deep.
That's what they want you to think. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know anything. I'll never know enough. And so, like, true confidence is a lifelong thing, and like it just takes learning having your self-awareness, and like realizing like, yeah, you're not a perfect person, but that's fine because you're you, and like
nobody's
you gotta make
perfect.
nobody's perfect. Like, yeah, you may be tight about this thing going on in your life, or you got this dealing with, or you got this insecurity, but you got to be able to like rationalize that like everybody does the same thing, and that like that doesn't make you less of a person. And like that's like you said, like people I lost my train of thought. but people essentially, people just like get down on themselves and like will have to like assist it or like supplement it by being so confident.
What shakes your guys' confidence?
Could be a lot of things, really.
What's something that you know, no matter what, it's always going to shake you, even if you...
It's what you let affect you is what shakes your confidence, and that's a big thing.
No, I'm asking, like, what's an example that shakes your confidence?
Well, I think it's dependent on everyone, right? Like, it's an individual thing. Like, now it's nothing.
Yeah, I'm asking you.
Yeah, but let me explain.
What is your insecurity, or what...
There were so many things.
What makes you...
Self-image.
Second guess.
I think is like self-image is like something everybody struggles with confidence-wise. I think like
body image
for sure, and like both like kind of like what you look in the mirror sometimes. Like sometimes like that's a big thing about self-awareness and being alone with yourself and like looking in the mirror and being like, are you kind of like proud of like who you are, the things you do, and like if I'm like, oh damn, like I just lied to this person today, like that kind of like makes me feel down on myself, like not confident. Like why am I like lying to people? Why do I do that shit? Like why did I just like, you know, do this horrible thing, you know what I mean? Like, just like do something stupid, and like that's like one. Like, there's so many things. Like for me, that was one of them. Like now, like Ty said, it's kind of nothing because I've kind of come to the point in life where like I'm cool with myself. Like I've spent so much time alone with myself that like I'm not happy with like the person, you know, I've been like where I've been at, but like I'm glad at the direction I'm going in, and I'm more happy of me taking control of that and heading in a better and just course correcting.
It's all for a reason.
All for a reason.
All the script.
And
that's
like
good.
The course is what I call is course corrections. Course corrections are where you kind of have a self-awareness about how you move in this life, and like you start to kind of like be like, you know, before you're about to do something you have a bad habit of doing or a bad thing, you catch yourself and say, hey, I'm not going to do that right now. Like before I just like, you know, say my parents text me, say like, oh, like where you going out tonight? And like if I didn't want them to know because I didn't want them to ask certain questions, I'd lie to them. And like I'd catch myself and be like, I'm not gonna lie to my parents tonight. I'm gonna tell my parents the truth and not be a stupid idiot and lie. Because like, why do I need to lie? Because here's the thing: even if you're lying about, oh, did I brush my teeth this morning? Like that doesn't even matter. Like you're just lying to yourself. You're cheating yourself out of just life. Like why do you need to lie to yourself? So those are like some things I struggled with personally. Which just like,
did you feel like you lied to yourself about stuff?
I think I would lie about dumb things for no reason, and like it would make me feel like I was living a lie. And that makes you have lack of confidence because you think like your life's just a fucking lie. Or like there are times when like I would be insecure and I'd be stubborn with the boys. We'd be arguing about shit and I couldn't be wrong. And like if I was wrong, it hurt my fucking ego, hurt my confidence. And I'd be like fighting tooth and nail until like you just realize, dude, there's nothing wrong with being wrong. It's totally okay to be wrong. What's best is like being wrong and owning up to it, and then like learning and becoming better. You know, just like being better. And that's a big thing. And like,
so it seems like you've grown a lot. You've reached a point of growth.
I've definitely been down a rabbit hole for sure of figuring myself out, because there was roller coasters. It was ups and downs. Like it was hard to figure out. It was hard to fucking cope, hard to deal with. Like it's hard to be alone. And like here's the thing, like you can be alone and not be lonely, and you can also be in a room full of people and be lonely. And that's a big thing I struggle with, like being alone. And then like you spend time with yourself and you realize like it's not that bad, and like you need that alone time to like course correct, to say, hey, I don't like this, I don't like that, I want to be this, I want to be that, and you course correct and put it together. And like
that alone time gives you that awareness.
Facts. And it's like
time to reflect.
And you know what it also is it's a rock bottom situation, right? Like I was in a rock bottom situation, and like here's the thing about rock bottom. Rock bottom isn't like the worst moment in your life or the worst thing happens to you. Rock bottom is when you're like, damn, I need to change this about my life because my life is fucking heading to rock bottom. Like that's when rock bottom is when it clicks and you gotta change it. You know what I mean?
But the thing about rock bottom, the only way is up.
Is up, exactly. So that's when you hit rock bottom and you're like, okay, I need a course correct. I need to make some fucking changes. I need to get up and do this. I need to do that. That's when it clicks. That's when you're like, all right, I need to be a better person and I need to figure my shit out.
So do you feel like you're gaining confidence because of your progress?
I think not gaining progress because my confidence I've gained. I mean, other way around. Sorry.
Right.
Not gaining. Yeah, you know what I mean. I think what I am gaining confidence in is that I'm becoming self-aware to the fact that, like, you know, I'm gonna have those days where things are bad and like things aren't going my way, but I'm also gonna have days when things are good and going my way. And either way, like, I have to be appreciative of both of it and like be hopeful in both of it, and like just like realize that everyone goes through those ups and downs. So that way, like, I just like can't compare myself to anybody to make myself unconfident, or like I just like realize that like it's just a bad day, not a bad life type thing, and like you just course correct, like you just figure it out. Like, it's okay to feel wrong. It's okay to like not look your best. You know, you're gonna have those days, and like that doesn't make you a lesser person. What makes you a lesser person is how you like react and treat. Because like when we talk about how you move in this life, it's how you react to things, right? And if I was reacting the same way as I used to, like super impulsively and like stubbornly and rudely, like that was just like a shitty way to live. You know what I mean? And like now, you don't gotta live that way. You know, you don't gotta be miserable. Like you can.
One thing about karma is
choose happiness.
it always comes for you. So if you do good, good will come back to you.
Karma
if you do
comes
bad,
for you, bro.
it will come for you.
And that's when you hit rock bottom.
Regardless,
Karma came for me, and I hit rock bottom. And I had to change shit. I had to like.
There's
figure it
always
out.
Repercussions.
Yeah, and another thing about confidence and like the self-awareness thing is kind of just like being present in the moment, like existing, like realizing, like in a meditative sense, essentially, and like not to sound super like guru-y, and like meditation is not like the you know, stereotypical like hit the gong thing. Like meditative in the sense that like we're all living beings of energy, and like you gotta exist and be present in the moment and like learn your self-awareness, because that is a form of energy. Like you gotta realize.
Well,
like,
you know, the reason a lot of people are not self-aware, I think, is because it's really scary to look within yourself and to pick apart your own flaws. I mean,
that's a perfect segue.
I think that I experienced that where I was like, I gotta address some things, but it was really scary because you already feel so down or like so emotional about something, and so if you think any deeper about it, you're like, oh, I can't even explore that emotion, it's too deep for me.
You're right, but pain makes you stronger.
The
you know
only way, you know, to the other side is through sometimes. So you just got to work through it, but it can be hard, it can be really scary, and that's why some people develop really unhealthy coping mechanisms. And it can be hard to get on top of that.
That is a perfect segue.
Facts.
Have you guys heard of ego death? Perspective death? You've never heard of perspective death, ego death?
No.
Okay. So this is a big thing, right? This is going to help you with self-awareness and confidence in everything in your life. Ego death is when you experience a perspective of you where, oh, you're doing this bad thing, you're lying, you're doing this, and like you hate that perspective of yourself, so you kill that part of yourself. Dead. See, like that's not me anymore. Like,
okay.
There's in Peaky Blinders, Thomas Shelby. In the show, a guy asked him, "Who was the last man you killed?" And he said, 4 years ago, I killed this man, Tom Shelby. Meaning he killed his old self, because his old self was a mobster, gangster, bad person that he didn't want to be. And now he's trying to be a better person. And like, I fuck with that heavy, because it's like, you know, you kill these parts of you. I call it ego death. Like, I killed an old Brandon. You know what I mean? Like, there's parts of me where like I didn't like his perspective or his ego on life, so I fucking killed that.
And Randy came out.
Yeah, Randy came out, but like, it's like a lot of things can. It's hard to do ego death because, like you said, it's hard to fucking go through those emotions. It's hard to swim through all that guilt and all that shame and all that embarrassment that you have to deal with. But like, that's why being alone is so important, because that helps you crazy. But also not just being alone. Also, this is probably a controversial topic, but I think drugs can help you out with ego death a ton. Here's the thing: when you're on drugs or on some type of substance, you have an altered state of consciousness, right?
Yeah, ASC.
So yeah, ASC. So when you have an altered state of ASC. I'm a bot. Sorry. Altered state of consciousness. So when you have the ASC, you're a different you, essentially new perspective, new ego. So now you have to learn that part of you, and like if it's an old part of you that you don't like, you sit with yourself, you sit with your thoughts, and you're in this like meditative, euphoric state, psychedelic state in a sense, where you can openly, objectively call that out, cut it out. You know what I mean? And of course, correct. Course correct. That's what it is. Course correct is
Call it out, cut it out.
call it out, cut it out. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Is a real fucking thing.
True.
You know what I
Course
mean?
correct.
And
Fuck
like
around, find out.
course correct. Exactly. So it's like if I've noticed that my ego is coming back, you got to course correct. Kill that old party.
Yeah,
That's not you no
definitely.
more. You know what I mean? Like that's gone. That's
Everything
Close
that-
the book on that.
Everything that's in the past, like, it doesn't exist.
What's past
You know
is
what I mean?
past. However, you know,
Your past forges you though. That's what's so cool
you
to me.
you
know?
carry your past with you though, whether you think it's dead or not. Like some things, you know, are never gonna go away.
Yeah,
So
but-
Scars will always be there, and you'll remember those.
you can
scars.
carry that, and the thing is like you said, your past is what makes you. So, you
But
know,
that's my north star.
Nah,
now.
you
short-
gotta
short
learn from
memory.
your past. Learn from your past.
That's-
Short memory.
Exactly. Like my past is my north star now. I call it my north star. Like if
Mm.
if you know, you know. Like you know, I went through some shit, and like I look at that as my north star that keeps me accountable, keeps me grounded, keeps me focused, keeps me course correcting, keeps me more self aware. You know what I mean? Like whenever I catch myself with like an ego again, like the ego coming back, like after I kill the ego, I catch myself and I'm like, no, like I got this north star holding me down. Like I can't be like that no more. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta be a new me, a better
yeah.
me, and like so far, like 2023's been a good year. Like shout out the new year. It's been it was 2022 when we did the last pod. It's now 2023. It's a new year.
New Bice.
And like I know that's cliche and shit, but like New Year is legit a perfect time for you to kind of just like give you that mental reset or like a philosophical reset on like just like reliving life, like new birth, legit like ego death, new you, ego death, new you, and like
Yes.
physical death, new you, like your cells all die off. You got new ones, like new chance at life, new you, like you know what I mean, like. That's the thing about knowing yourself over years of time is like I bet there's gonna be times when I go in the future and like still don't like certain things about me that I'm gonna still cut off and kill and want to grow into something new. Like,
Always growing.
It's always gonna be
Constantly
changing and
changing.
adapting constantly. But I think the biggest thing that will never change is your self-awareness and your open-mindedness. I think those two are like the most important things that like you need as a basis and a foundation that go hand in hand to like building up everything else, confidence and happiness and sadness and like. Again, like it's okay to feel all those negative emotions too. It's just how you react with them, and like I feel like the self-awareness and open-mindedness is able to have you course correct and react in a way that you want to react. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to react no more if like someone's bothering me. Like I don't want to be bothered by it because it's not like something can't bother you unless you let it bother you. You know what I mean? Like oh damn, that girl didn't fucking text me back. Like. Okay, cool. She's got her life. She got to go live her life. Like, you go be you. Not me being like, damn, she's ducking me up. Oh, what's wrong with me? Like, why do I got this pain in my... Like, that's stupid. It's childish. The wind is at your back. You just got to let it take you.
But
You know what I'm saying?
that doesn't, not to say that things can't hurt your feelings, and I think it's
Things will
important to
always
like
hurt your feelings.
sit with your feelings, and if it's hurt, the
And
thing is
rationalize.
like what you say is like how you react. I think it's definitely important, but as far as like working through your emotions, don't just dismiss them. I think you think about where they're coming from and why and like what the reasoning may be, and then you work through it and then you move on. I think when people try to push down emotions or like move past them, that creates more problems down the line. And so you think you're just working towards your happiness because you're just putting away all the like negative stuff, but there needs to be balance in life, and you need to let in the negative while being positive.
Yeah,
100%.
That's
And
like
it's hard-
anger. Anger is a good thing,
I
and
was
if challenged correctly.
I was
or
kind of looking
channeled.
at it like, whatever, you had like a bad day at work, like, whatever, it's just a bad day. Like, it's not gonna be.
don't
you know what I mean?
sweat the small
Don't sweat the
stuff.
small stuff is all I'm saying. Like, if someone you care about isn't texting you back, like, it's whatever. Like, go with the grain. If they don't want to talk to you, they don't want to talk to you. Or if
Right.
like, but if you got some deep shit going on, and like, yeah, you do need to like have a mental, battle with yourself a little bit, and like, kind of sit down, see where it's coming from. How can we fix it? How can we course correct? Like, again, the drugs help you self-awareness and kill that ego death, kill that perspective of you, right? And like that's what you want. You want to get rid of the ego. You want to kill that. You want to kill all the shitty perspectives, get rid of the ego, and just be a better you. And like but yeah, definitely don't want to bottle things up. Definitely want to rationalize those things. But I think at the same time, like a lot of things in life are a lot simpler than it is. It's just, you know what I mean?
Do we ever use ego to our advantage though? Is ego a tool sometimes?
Yes.
In certain situations, but
so.
not for, I don't think for the common man. You know what I mean? For the average person.
Not for the common man?
I don't think the average person in any situation, an ego can help them, in my opinion. I mean, not that I can think of any. Like, when I think of what an ego can help you is like Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. I'm the fucking best. No one's fucking beating me. Or a fighter is about to step in the cage. I'm fucking better than you. I'm the best. Like, you're not beating me.
Yeah,
that type of ego is good because that's game
why
confidence.
can't you apply that? The average man can apply that to his job.
I think
Or
plenty
if you're
of
a salesman,
men in
I'm the best
business,
salesman. I'm gonna
salesmen,
You-
corporations.
100%.
I think
You can
that's how a lot of men get respect in the workplace, I think.
100%. You can do that too, but is that not braggadocious in a sense? Is that not pretentious in a way?
I'm not, but I just mean like we use our ego to our advantage,
You
and
can.
that's a part of life.
You're right. You can. 100%. You can.
It's like anger. It's all obviously has a negative connotation, but sometimes it's good to be angry because that's what helps drive your next step. Like, you get angry about something and
It's motivation.
it's motivation.
100%.
You don't let it consume you, but you let it motivate you to. It's kind of like lighting a fire underneath yourself.
Yeah.
Like, gives
That's
you that
a good
spark.
segue into how like certain things that happen to you, like both the bad and the good can be fucking motivators. So it's like, here's the thing, like a perfect example is love, right? When you have love, you're high off love, you're high off life. That's a big motivator. Like, that's the highest high you'll ever have, right? When life's good, you're in love, and like things are going, like, that's a fucking high. That's a legit drug. That shit will fucking make you move mountains. You'll move mountains for love. But then heartbreak, right? On the other hand, on the other side of the coin is like such a pain that also fucking motivates you in a different sense. Not where you're high off life, where like you're just fucking angry or depressed or something. And like, it's okay to feel depressed and anxious. Those are normal feelings to have. But you gotta use that as an energy source to light something new. You see what I'm saying? And those are such great motivators. Like I said, you can move mountains with love and do different things. But then when you're also at the bottom of hurt and the pain, that you can also use that to motivate you to do other.
Yeah, you can.
It's really important.
You can use that to move mountains as well.
Exactly.
It's all
Both can move
the
mountains.
same power.
But it's just drawn from a different energy source, and that's what's so interesting to me, because you can just draw fucking energy from anything, and it's so fucking cool to me. You know what I mean? Like, you can. I don't know. I just love when I think about, you know, artists or, you know, celebrities or just people that, like, you know, will use certain things to, you know, make a song or like put it out on the field like an athlete, or like they'll just take like any part of like energy they can and like use that energy, put it into something creative or better, or just a new form of art. And that's like so cool to me. Is like,
hell yeah,
you take that energy that's most likely probably a negative energy and turn it into a positive. And that's so cool to me. I think that's sick that you can do that. And like, humans are powerful. The fucking brain, T-Bag, you talk about this all the time. The brain is goddamn powerful. Talk about the brain, T-Bag.
The human brain, man, that's the most powerful computer known to man.
Wow.
All the frequencies though, and the signals that you get and energy that you get from your brain.
Life finds a way, okay?
That's
Life
what's
always
so
finds a way,
insane.
and human beings are resilient beings
Facts.
naturally. That's something that all people have. Survival skills is something that all people have, and so in a society where we're not roughing it out in the wilderness, we need to survive in other ways, you know.
Adapt.
Social media is damaging at times, and the media in general, and like the messages, so many different this or that, you know, being thrown at us.
But it also is positive. Social media has, you know, put people
But
on.
my point is,
you know,
you
what I
know,
mean? Yeah, both sides, for sure.
human beings are equipped to survive So
100%.
never forget that. I mean, even in your hardest
Facts.
moments, you're like, I made it through yesterday. I'll make it through today.
Yes, exactly. And that's
Absolutely.
another thing that we've been talking about recently is just trying to be better than yesterday. Trying to be 1% better every day. Like, a lot of people think, like, oh, like, I got to do this. I got to be there 100% tomorrow. Like, you don't need to be there 100% tomorrow, because here's the thing. We're in it for the long haul. We're not in it for the short term.
You wake
short
up
term.
every morning and you give 100% of what you can give that day.
Yes.
That
To
could
get
be
1%
that
better.
could be a fraction of what you gave yesterday.
Exactly.
It could be more than what you gave yesterday, but yesterday was different. You woke up
Yes.
feeling different.
We were trying to be
and
better than yesterday.
You just did your best yesterday, but today my 100% is maybe different.
1% better every day is how you have to think of it. It's just one step at a time. And, like, I know it seems overwhelming in the long run when you have to take a million steps, but, like, you only do that by doing it 1% better every day. And, like,
Step by step, little by little.
step by step, little brick
What
by
I
fucking
have,
brick.
what I want to know, I want some information on the young
Mr. Clyde
prince.
over here. Yeah.
So we know Ty. We know who he is. We know his life.
People don't.
You are, you know,
An enigma.
you are an enigma, even to me, who
The inner workings
is
of his
literally
mind are
blood
an
related.
enigma.
Yeah, related since birth. Since birth, I've been with
You
ya.
want to know what I think it
And
is?
Birth, we've been related.
You want to know what I think it is?
What?
T. Beck figures it out himself in his own brain. He doesn't figure it out, vocalize. I have to vocalize. I have to put the pins on the board and staple it to that, and then figure out who's selling the drugs. You know what I mean? T. Beck
everyone's
has an
different.
internal dialogue.
But what I want to
where
know is, I want to know what the
rationalizes it himself.
dialogue is. Like, what is
What
your
is- yeah,
what is
walk
your
us through it.
process of coping? First of all, do you ever grapple with strong emotions?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Everyone does, right?
Yeah, who doesn't?
And so, what is the source of these emotions? What area of your life, for the most part, would you say, or what's the biggest?
Strong emotions of peace, love, and happiness.
I mean,
That's all.
like negative emotions.
That's the thing. I think he's
Negative
worked
emotions.
through the negative.
Negative
But there was a
emotions.
time where he
There was
felt
a time
it.
where he felt it.
I'm trying to get him to enlighten us.
But hey, if you're not feeling it, if you're not feeling it, don't feel it. But speak on it. I want you to speak on it. We all want you to
Speak
speak
on
on
it. I
it.
mean,
Speak on it if you can.
everyone feels.
Speak on it.
I feel like everyone feels this similar way towards similar things, like annoyances that get you angry, or like something that builds up over time, or
Facts.
what else?
Or somebody reached rock bottom, devastating moment. Have
Yeah.
you had your rock bottom? Is essentially what Adine's getting at.
Yeah, have you?
I don't know. I don't. And based on my answer,
No, that's
Then I
a
don't
good
think I
question
have.
because it's a Richter scale, right? Like you may think you have reached your rock bottom, but maybe you
but
haven't
yeah,
reached it
something worse could come, which obviously God forbid.
yet.
But
God forbid, knock on wood, that's
Nah,
not happening to
I
the
mean-
bias. Chinese
Yeah.
farmer though.
Chinese farmer,
but
maybe.
We'll talk about Chinese farmer in a second. That's a good proverb I want to get into. But I
That's a
want
great proverb.
But in the past, what was the rock bottom?
Rock bottom. I mean, I don't know.
If you don't, if you're not
I mean,
feeling
like,
it, you don't gotta-
what's
you
your
don't feel
rock
it, you
bottom?
don't- It's a deep topic.
It's tough, right?
It's tough to say on camera because it's something that I have been working through for so long. Still in the middle of it a little bit, or coming out of the
so
tunnel.
you don't gotta say nothing.
But like it's fresh. But like if you guys want to know, I'll say it. If the people want me to say it, I'll say it. It's what I
the
mean.
people
Like
don't
Whatever
want you to
you're
say it.
comfortable with. No, the people want you to express yourself if you need to express yourself. The people are here for you.
essentially,
true.
we'll keep it. We'll keep it streamlined. We don't got to get too deep into it. But it was a big heartbreak. It was a big heartbreak that I had to take a loss to gain me, to gain a different me, a new me. Because
You
know,
hate to see it.
you hate to see it, but you fumble the bag sometimes.
But-
And here's the thing, Chinese farmer, you kind of have to fuck it all up a little bit. You kind of have to.
So did you feel like you were responsible?
Did I think my reactions helped? No,
Okay.
definitely not. Do I think I caused? Probably. I can't really say for sure because relationships are such a complex thing, and I don't really know where things went wrong. All I know is I didn't like how I handled it. I didn't like how I reacted. I didn't like who I was. And so you hit rock bottom, and that's why you're like, okay, I didn't like how I handled that. I gotta move better. I gotta move correct. I gotta figure my shit out. So that's when you get in the fucking lab. You start mixing up different things. It's a lifelong process. It's like a 3-year journey for me right now. Fucking 3-year journey, going ups and downs, and like, you know what I mean.
But you've been growing ever since.
That's the goal, right? Because I don't ever want to like stay stagnant, right? Like, content and satisfaction is good, but like not to the point where it's complacency. And it's like, I just don't want to be that complacent person. I don't want to be back in the point where I was. I don't want to feel as low as I did. I don't ever want to be there again. And I got there because of my shitty behaviors and reactions. And like, I had to rationalize that I had shitty behaviors and reactions. You got to accept. It's the first step, right? Accept that you got ego. Accept that you got shitty perspectives. So that's why you got to ego death, ego kill, all that shit. Get rid of it. You know what I mean? That was my rock. I mean, I've had plenty of rock bottom moments. I've had so many, but like, that was the biggest one that made me hit rock bottom. That made me want to change. And like, those are the most important ones. The ones that make you want to change. And
well, that's the whole thing about having a rock bottom moment. Is there was only one.
I think you have multiple, but there's one that hits harder than all the others, right? But Chinese Farmer.
Sure.
Yeah, but so I want to talk about Chinese Farmer real quick because, yeah, when you do have things that hit hard or things that hit differently, they may hurt and hit hard in the moment, but that doesn't mean that they're bad things, right? So that's what Chinese Farmer is. I wish we had ZK in here. He's better at explaining Chinese Farmer, but I'll give a quick little rundown. Essentially, there's this old Chinese farmer and his son, and they're farming, wheat in their backyard, right? But they have a horse, right? And the horse is what is keeping this business alive, running the wheat, right? The horse runs away. So the son's freaking out. Dad, we're not going to be able to turn this wheat over. Like, we need that horse, and you're too old, and I'm not strong enough to push this cart. Like, we don't got the horse. Like, damn, we're fucked. The dad's like, you know what, son? I can't call it. The son's like, well, all right, this guy's crazy. So whatever. Next day, horse comes back, but with 100 other horses. So, Dad, this is great. We're good. We're chilling. Not only are we're selling wheat, we're selling horses. Let's go. Dad's like, you know what, son? I don't know. I can't call this. I don't know what it is. Son's again like, this guy's crazy. So the next day, son's training the horses, all this stuff. Son gets dropped off a horse, fucking breaks his leg. Oh, Dad, like, this sucks. Just fucking broke my leg. Damn, we're not gonna be able to do this. Like, we're fucked. Dad's like, damn, you know what, son? I can't call this. I don't know. Next day, their army general comes up and say, hey, I need your son. We're going to fight this army. Dad's like, well, I would, but my son just broke his leg. He can't fight. So they go without him. All of them die. Chinese Farmer is something bad happens to you, but then something good comes out of it. Or something good happens to you and something bad comes out of it. That's the thing. Like,
you never know.
Something that may be good may not be good. Something that may be bad may not be bad. So that's the thing. Like,
things are not always what they seem,
right? So it's like, I talk about like my heartbreak, right, being that thing that fucking hurt me and killed me, and like I had to go through this shit and go through that thing, but I had to go through that to get to where I'm at now. Yeah. So that bad thing,
that was your rock bottom.
It felt bad. I fucking hated every second of it, but I had to go through that to get to the good.
You learned an important lesson.
You learn an important lesson. You go through the bad to get the good. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's vice versa, you know what I mean? Like, that's just how life goes. But that's why, like, anything that happens to you, you take it with a grain of salt. You gotta react. You gotta move in a correct way in life. You gotta react correctly. So it's like, if his dad were like, oh, my son just broke his fucking leg, we're dead, this is it, game over. If he reacted because, like, something that seemed bad, but then, like, his son doesn't have to go off in the war and die. Like, that's a small price you pay, you know what I mean? Like, that's not as bad as you think, you know what I mean? So, like, that's just life, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta move correctly, act correctly.
You gotta take it step by step.
Yeah.
Focus on the step that you're on, because you don't know what's coming next, and what came before doesn't matter. So
that's Chinese Farmer. So if there's anything like wisdom, anything you can get out of this deep pod where whoever's watching this probably won't really understand, and that's fine. You don't gotta understand. But you can definitely understand Chinese farmer.
Thanks for watching, though, by the way.
Thanks for sticking with us. Thanks for always watching. I know this is a different media than we're used to, but I think we want to be able to do this type of stuff. Bice have range. We can be able to get deep, do this type of stuff, give our perspective on things.
Well, you have to. You gotta contribute a little bit more to the conversation if that's gonna be the topic.
What topic?
If you're going to talk about deep emotional stuff. So say one day, you talk about your heartbreak and you delve into it, okay? Would you do the same?
Well, that'll come one day. One day we'll get there.
Yeah,
but will he contribute to the conversation?
Well, yes. Like we said, we deal with it
I have a question. Have you ever heard him talk about anything deep, ever?
Yeah, 100%.
Thank you, Rand.
Well, I mean, it's on my place to share his deep thoughts.
No, just about life experience.
Yeah, just human experience. Everyone, Tyback is not invulnerable to the human experience, even though Tyback is invulnerable to a lot of things.
Well, we're asking him right now, and he's not sharing.
He's like I said, he's not a person that verbalizes things. He rationalizes it with his head, and
True.
there's definitely been times when it's like one-on-one or a tight-knit group where Ty will let the walls down, but sometimes it's only certain cases you let them.
Could you try again?
Shut up, your goddamn mouth, Siri.
Been listening this whole time.
God damn it. Mr. FBI, man, leave us alone. But for real, I think everyone deals with it in a different way. Ty has his way, as you know what I mean, and
So my point being, y'all are gonna sit here talking about deep stuff, and it's just gonna be Randy, and Ty's just gonna be like, "Yeah, you gotta take it day by day."
But sometimes it's just as simple as that, right?
Sometimes it's as simple as that.
Sometimes it doesn't need to be this complex step-by-step plan, which I have for myself because I'm an overthinker. But sometimes it's just simple as it ain't that deep.
Hey, that's why we compliment each other on this pod.
Exactly. We're able to give both sides of this perspective, and he keeps me grounded. I think we equalize each other out. Keep it grounded.
He's not the other side of the perspective, though. He's just sitting there.
He is.
Whatever. I'm not trying to shit on Ty, but just you gotta insert yourself.
Shit on his ass.
You gotta insert yourself a little bit more. I think just to be included, just so that
I've shared some good thoughts.
Tell us what parts of ego death have you experienced, if any? You've experienced ego death.
Ego death.
Any perspectives you gotta kill off?
Easy one to think that comes to mind. Especially playing sports when I was younger, I was a big hothead.
Okay.
Obviously competitive. If I didn't get my way, if I didn't win, I was just my top was gonna pop off. Just go nuts. I don't know. Basketball was a problem. I would always get fouls. Just run into people, drop a shoulder if they're making me mad or whatever.
Can't do that nowadays, sadly.
Yeah, I can't do that nowadays. Baseball, same thing. Football, every sport I played.
Do you think your competitiveness not only was on the field, it was on elsewhere, outside the field too?
Yeah, for
unhealthy situations?
No. I mean...
Sometimes?
Yeah, sometimes, because even if it was just me and my friends playing anything, it was video game and NHL, 2K, Madden, whatever, or if it's playing spike ball, we would get heated. We would,
Do you think
yell at each other, scream at each other, fight, get physical? But
do you think you're in a healthy spot with it now? You're able to realize that the losses are just as important?
What was the turning point?
It's a good question.
What was the turning point, and how did you make the change?
What was the rock bottom?
The turning point was, I don't know. I think it wasn't one specific thing. It was multiple events where I gathered perspective from all of them. My experience playing basketball, shout out Coach Simpson. He gave me great new perspective just in playing basketball, but also could be applied to life. And it was simply as he kept stats for he kept points, rebounds, assists, all that. Didn't keep blocks.
Interesting.
Because he said he would rather you not risk the foul and box a guy out and get the rebound rather than go for a block, foul the guy, maybe it's an and one, there's 3 points.
Just don't risk
the other
it.
way. It's,
I see what you're saying. I mean,
it's like,
it's important, but
I don't
see what
know.
you're saying.
Don't overdo it because the consequence might be greater than what you
Yeah.
expect.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Chinese farmer.
Yeah,
Kind
no, I see
of,
what you're saying.
But I don't know, that gave me perspective.
It's like just like that Bengals linebacker hitting Mahomes out of bounds. You just blew the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
No, exactly. Like, you're trying to make a play,
No need to move like that.
but you're just making it worse for yourself. So it's kind of like taking a step back, letting
Yes.
life come to you, letting life happen, and reacting off that rather than forcing it, going for the block shot and fouling him. He gets an and one, crowd goes crazy. We're down 3 points. It's kind of like we've been talking about it, or we talked about it the other day. Life is like
Box of chocolates.
is like a box of no. Life is like
If you know,
a
you know, shut up
dog
for a second.
tied up to a truck.
Yes.
If you're a dog tied
Speak
up
on
to
it.
a truck, and that truck's driving down the road, and you're trying to run the opposite way, you're just gonna get yanked by that truck and dragged through the mud.
Life is a grain.
If you go with the truck, run alongside the truck,
It can be much
Go with the
easier.
flow.
So many parables and analogies and
But
comparisons
go
today.
with the
I
flow
bet you've
now. Go with
experienced
the
this,
flow.
where life is legit grain, right? And if you go with the grain in life, even if it sucks or something bad happens to you, you realize
But
that
don't we benefit from going against the grain sometimes, though?
not against life. Life always wins, is what I'm saying. Life, if you go against the grain of life, because life has a coding, it's got an energy, it's got something for you, right? And if you're fighting life's choices and like whatever life wants you to do,
Whatever
if
your
you're
destiny
if you're the
it's
dog
gonna
running
happen.
away from
You
from the
can't
truck,
avoid it.
you're gonna get dragged. Life's gonna fucking
Okay, so
drag you.
you can't avoid your destiny, is what you're saying.
Like
If there
whatever
is
is
a
meant to
destiny, I
be
don't know.
will be.
But what I'm saying is, like, if, for example, like in a relationship, right? If someone wants to leave, they want to be with you, and like you're fighting them, making them trying to stay with you, like you're going against the grain of life. Life doesn't want that person to stay. Life doesn't want you to stay there. Like life wants you to go. So if you're fighting it, you're
And
gonna get
doesn't
dragged.
even- it might not even feel right.
It might not even feel right. You know what I mean? But like, if that's what life wants for you, and like you're gonna get dragged and you're gonna get hurt more. You're gonna get hurt because life is wants something different for you. And if you want different from life, you're
You
gonna
might
get
as well
hurt.
hurry up and go get
So that's what I'm saying.
life wants
Essentially,
rather
it's
than
so
what
much.
you want.
Exactly, it's so much easier to just go with life's plan, and go with the grain because it's gonna hurt less and you're gonna come up better on the other side. If you fight against it, that's how you hit that rock bottom, and that shit hurts.
But
You're
you know
like-
what? A lot of people are born into a life where the plan is one thing and it turns into another, and so that's always a possibility. I mean, you
Because
can't
life
really
had that
say
plan
that.
for you.
I mean,
No, life had that plan. Now life
yeah,
had that
but
plan.
it's
Here's the
not
thing.
as simple as that. You know, there are systemic issues. Life
For
is not
sure.
just life, unfortunately.
But if you want to break it down to its simplest form, in a sense, there is just life. You know, it's Earth. Earth has an energy and a magnetic core and all this energy. I don't even understand it. That's the thing. But I think that the most important thing is that I don't know if I believe in a destiny or a purpose or a reason or things like that, but I do believe that we all give reasons to things for if it's a comfort or for whatever it is, and you know, kind of giving that reason kind of makes there be a reason, kind of makes there feel like there's a coding to life, where life is coded to go a certain way, and it's supposed to be a certain way. I don't know. That's the thing, is like I don't know if there's a destiny, but I feel like life is supposed to be a certain way for everybody, and if you're going against that plan of life, you're gonna get dragged, like that dog on the truck. You're gonna get dragged. But that's why it's an important thing. Just go with it. Like if you're not supposed to be at that job, life will make sure you're not at that job. If you're not supposed to be with that person, life will make sure you're not that person. If like if you're not supposed to be in a spot in life, life will take you out of it. And if you're fighting it, you're gonna get hurt. That's how I look at it a little bit.
Yeah.
True.
And the more you fight against the current, the stronger it's gonna get. It's like quicksand.
That's a good point. That's a great point. Yeah, if you just ride the wave instead of trying to fight through the wave, you're gonna have a better
Oh my
time.
God! How many more things are you gonna compare?
You're gonna have a better time.
If you slap the ladybug on the wing, then life will let you know.
If you just
what are you guys
if you just
saying?
make some lemonade out of lemons, then you'll make some lemonade
But
out of
do you
lemons.
know what to do
Yeah,
with the
but
lemons?
you have to know
You
how
will.
to make the lemonade.
You
and you
will.
gotta know when to hold them. Know when to fold them.
But
Know when
to bring
to
it full
walk
circle
away.
to the lemons.
Know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time for the count when the dealing's done.
I don't know the
do we
rest.
end it on that? Is that where we ended, or what are we doing?
Yeah, we're on red with the battery. That was a great talk though.
Well, yeah. Real quick to talk about to come full circle with the lemons. So essentially, when you have these bad things in life, or you hit rock bottom, that's when the lemons come in. You're
Yes.
at rock bottom. You don't really, you got to make lemonade, but you don't really know how. You don't have the tools. You don't know how.
Yeah, it's either you let the lemons rot or you figure out how to use them to your advantage.
Exactly. So, and that's different for everybody. You know what I
Life
mean?
will present you with something at rock bottom, and you take it or you leave it.
Absolutely. And I turn those lemons into ego death, course corrections, self-awareness, open-mindedness.
You turn that lemonade into a fucking business, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not
So-
just a stand, a international success.
So absolutely. So
500.
with those lemons, you get all that bad, all that shame, embarrassment, anger. Turn that shit into some positive, self-awareness, course correction. You know, like I said, that's how I did it. Again, it's gonna be different for everybody. You got to find your lemon in your lemonades. So we'll let you guys do that.
Yeah, for sure.
And
But
good luck, everybody.
Good luck.
Stay
it's,
well
it's
out
tough
there.
out here, but you'll be fine. And here's the thing: if it's not okay, if you're not fine, it's not the end. That's it.
facts.
If it's
Tomorrow
not okay,
is a new day.
it's not the end. And I promise you, it will be okay. And if it's not okay, it's not the end.
Hell yeah.
Shout out the
Just
Bice in
keep
the
going.
back.
Shout out. Thanks
Hey.
for what. If you made it to this point of the video, thank you so much. Means the world.
Like, comment, subscribe. Hey, Dean, give us the slogan. Write us out with the slogan.
I forget what it
You're
is.
always riding shoddy when the bites are in the
back.
back. Come on now. Come on now.
Fantastic show. Round of applause for everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
That's good shit.
Hey, dance it out.
And we're done.